What is going on, Commander family, man? I got my guy, the Juke, here for week 1 of the 2025 NFL season, man. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. The game is finally upon us. We're a couple of days away. We got a game starting soon in a couple of hours, but Giants football, Giants Commanders this Sunday. I'm excited to be here, man.
Yes, sir. We do got a game coming on in a couple hours. I'm gonna take a look at it and hopefully they tie or something, bro, to start the season. Oh, that'll be like the perfect the perfect start to the season. You know what I'm saying?
That's the
But
best case scenario. That's the best.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So coming into this season, right? We got two teams, Commanders and the Giants. Both teams look to be better than they were last year. You know, you guys got a new quarterback, Russell Wilson. You shipped off Daniel Jones, no more. Jaden Daniels coming into his second year as a quarterback of the Commanders. Talk to me a little bit about some of your offseason acquisitions and some of the pieces that you are most excited for.
Yeah, man. I think you talked about probably the most important free agent acquisition, that being Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson stepping in here was something that, we signed Jameis Winston first and we wondered, like, is it going to be Jameis Winston and a rookie coming into the season?
Right.
Then they go out and they sign Russell Wilson after we signed Jameis Winston. And we're like, okay, maybe it's just Russ. And then we go aside Jackson Dart. But Russell Wilson is definitely the quarterback of this team. I'm excited to see what he's going to do in Big Blue because we haven't had competent quarterback play in such a long time. Just a friendly reminder to all these Commanders fans that, saw who we played last year. I mean, we had Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, and Daniel Jones as a quarterback room last year. I think all of these quarterbacks that we have in this quarterback room now, exceed what that quarterback room was last year. So hopefully Russell Wilson can just stay on cue and, honestly just deliver the ball in a timely manner. That was the biggest thing with Daniel Jones last year, is that he wasn't able to hit his receivers in strides. You can think about all the, and we'll talk about him, but you can think about all the plays with Malik Neighbors where he has to come back for the football, stop and turn around. Crazy plays like that last year where if you have a better quarterback, you're going to see a lot better opportunities and explosive plays with Malik Neighbors. So Russell Wilson is definitely the top of that, but I look at the defensive side of the ball, Paulson Adebo being added to this team, hopefully trying to strap up, cornerback 1 as well as Javon Holland, sliding over from Miami to be our starting safety. It's an improved, DB group out of free agency, man. And that's something that the Giants needed to do. We couldn't stop the run, but, a way to help out with that is obviously getting DBs in here that can tackle, that can, play all over the field. So those are definitely my top 3 favorite free agent acquisitions. Over here, tongue twister.
Got you. And speaking about your defense, bro, we gotta hit the, we gotta get it started with the big elephant in the room, that defensive line. Brian Burns, you still got Kayvon Thibodeau over there. You the number 1 draft pick that you guys, not number 1, but first round draft pick that you guys just brought in. Speak to me a little bit how much excitement is around this defensive front, because it's not just Giants fans talking about this defensive front. It's the whole league and everybody that's into the NFL that's talking about this defensive front.
Yeah, man. I mean, this defensive line has to show out this year for sure. I think last year we had conversations about this D line being one of the most dominant when you add Brian Burns with Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence. But then when you go out and you draft Abdul Carter, probably, if not the best player in this draft, Abdul Carter has to wreak havoc. Through training camp, you just seen a difference between him and the other guys. Brian Burns is quick, but Abdul Carter is like twitchy fast. It's crazy to see him. He was lining up, and granted, I mean, are we worried about our offensive line? That's another conversation. But he's lining up against centers, guards, tackles, spin move, jab steps. He's got them in a blender. And for a rookie to do that in his first training camp, it's exciting. We got to see it in live game reps. But when you think about seeing that on Sunday, where there's going to be probably a formation where you see Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon on the outside, Brian Burns on the outside, and Abdul Carter on the inside. The biggest thing that everyone's saying, and I'm just going to repeat it because it's a genuine question, who do you double team? I mean, Dexter Lawrence has to get an automatic double team. You guys signed Laramie Tunzel, which is a great addition for you guys. So you probably got that locked up one-on-one on the left. But when you think about those other 2 players, one of them got to win. One of them has to win a one-on-one matchup because that's what they're going to be given. So definitely excited to see what this D-line is going to do. Training camp's been nothing but great because all of them are healthy. And that's been the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Keep them healthy, keep them all on the field. And I'm glad we play y'all week 1 because you guys get to see them healthy.
Yeah.
Obviously, injuries do happen. So definitely hoping to side of that, but definitely excited to see what they do.
Yeah, man. And I'm on the other side of things, the same coin. I'm excited to see this new vamped offensive line that we got. You know, like you said, we got Laramie Tunsil on the left tackle. And we also drafted Josh Connolly Jr. on the right tackle. And going into the game, I expect you guys to attack him. I expect that right side to be attacked all day. Y'all are going to test that rookie out. So he's going to be on an island, you know, by himself a lot of times.
Yep.
So he's going to get you know, he's not going to get the help. He might get some chips, you know, from the running back here and there, but he's not going to you know, get 100% help every play. So that's something going into it that I'm like super excited about, because what we've heard on this, you know, on the Commander side of things is this is a much different offensive line. Now, granted, we do have better players, but we have not yet seen this offensive line play with each other all together. I'm talking about Laramie Tunsil, Josh Connolly Jr., our starting center, Brandon Coleman. All these guys, they have not yet played a snap of football in the preseason together, and they barely got. I don't even think they've got out there and practice all together, because we load manage Laramie Tunsil a lot, so he's missed a lot of practice as well. So that's something interesting going into the game too. Let's switch a little bit, because I think this game will ultimately come down to the trenches. Let's switch over to the offensive line. How confident are you in your offensive line going into the 2025 season? You guys were, you know, at the bottom half, according to PFF. You guys were like the 28th ranked offensive line from last season, a season ago. How confident are you in how much do you think you guys improved offensively on the offensive line?
So the funny part is we didn't add any new guys to this group, specifically with this starting lineup. We're rolling out the same guys that we did last year. And, you know, part of the reason why the offensive line derailed last year is because Andrew Thomas, our best offensive lineman, got hurt last year. And he's still coming off of, you know, surgery off of that Liz Frank injury. That's the biggest concern right now for me with his offensive line. I don't expect to see him out there Sunday, which is a breath of fresh air for y'all. Because I do think Andrew Thomas makes this offensive line and makes this offense go. He really does. When you have an anchor at the left tackle position where your quarterback doesn't have to worry about what's going on behind him, I mean, that helps them tremendously. And to think that Andrew Thomas had a whole offseason, he still might not be right. I think they're going to play cautious with him, and they're going to sit him out this first game. So that throws in a guy like James Hudson, who he wasn't on this team last year, but honestly, the expectations just aren't there for him. We're going to need a chip on that left side. We're going to need to help him out, because we're definitely going to have our hands full without our best, you know, offensive linemen. So am I confident in this offensive line? I hope they can just hold up the fort. That's all I can hope for. If my Andrew Thomas was playing, I'd be a lot more confident, you know, knowing that we can kind of, you know, turn a blind eye to the left side and, you know, kind of just run our offense how we want to. Without him, it does make me worried a little bit. Granted, we're going to talk about, you know, the trenches in general, and I do think your defensive line isn't insane, right? Like, I don't think it's crazy, but definitely you guys have some players that can make some noise. And when you think about our offensive line not being great, that's a bad recipe overall.
Yeah, we don't. So we got old Von Miller, you know. Von Miller, he's going to be on a, you know, a pitch count, so he's not going to play 80-70% of the game. He's going to be coming in, you know, third and long in times where obvious passing situations. It's going to be a by committee. We're going to be switching it up here and there. You know, like it's just going to be, we got Dorrance Armstrong. You know, on one side, we brought in Javon Kinlaw, who specifically is to set the edge and stop the run. That's his goal. And take up space as big as he is. You've still got Deron Payne, Frankie Louvu as a linebacker. We are expected to you know, blitz him a lot, so he's going to be rushing the passer as well. So it's all these guys that we are expecting to, you know, come in and play as a cohesive unit. It's just kind of, you know, we got to see, because one of the biggest things that we had in the offseason was we needed a edge rusher, a perennial edge rusher. We didn't get one in free agency, and we didn't draft the one. So it's just a by committee type of team. But so we know, speaking of defensive lines, we know your defensive line. You know, they have high expectations regarding pass rush. How confident are you in stopping the run? with this defensive line.
See, now I feel like stopping the run is going to be obviously the conversation that happens the whole
Mm-hmm.
year.
Yeah.
All year we're going to be talking about that, focusing on that, because last year the Giants did not do a great job at stopping the run. But I made this argument these last couple, days as I went live. I was telling everyone, man, I think the offense, and it's going to sound, kind of opposite, but the offense helps out a lot. I need the
Yeah.
offense to get ahead of the game and put the defense in a position where they can pin their ears back with a lead. Now, necessarily, will this happen huge with the Commanders? I'm not predicting that, but I
Mm-hmm.
do think the Giants need to at least be competitive with their offense, put the defense in a position where maybe they have a 3-point lead. Maybe it's a tie ball game, and the Commanders don't necessarily have to run the ball all 3 downs to try to gain the yardage to get a first down. I think that's kind of, overlooked. If you play with the lead, if you have the lead like the Commanders did against us a couple times, you're able to run the ball, confidently and be able to sit back and really just let your running backs go to work and not be in an obvious passing situation.
Yeah.
If you put the team on the other side of the coin, you're able to rush the passer, you're able to get after them because they know they have to get back into the game somehow, some way. So if I'm asking about how we're gonna stop the run, that's my answer. Because I don't think
Yeah.
there's another answer to it. The D tackle position, beside Dexter Lawrence, is something that we wanted to upgrade. We drafted a guy in Darius Alexander, but
Yeah.
it's not looking like he's going to be starting. I don't know how much reps he's going to get in the game. So with that being said, we have Nacho, who was formerly from the Tampa Bay Bucks. This is his 3rd year with us. He's okay. He takes up space and he'll take up some double teams, but whoever's beside Dexter Lawrence is not getting double teamed. So you just got to win your matchup. He doesn't win it consistently. So with that being said, I'm not super confident in stopping the run. We didn't make any significant improvements. We just got to see our
Yeah.
guys fly around. Something I talked about as well is I think our DBs have to be able to step up and tackle. That's something that we lacked last year. And with the addition of Paulson Adebo and hopefully revitalize Deontay Banks, which that's another conversation, the DBs need to
We're
step
gonna
up
get
and
into
tackle,
it.
man. Yeah. The DBs need to step up and tackle, man. That's the one
Yeah.
thing I will say. If the DBs step up and tackle, that'll make this run defense a lot better because you guys are not trying to run at Dexter Lawrence. You're trying to run away from him. So
Yeah.
we got to see if those guys can set the edge and really, stop the outside runs.
Got you. And Michael Underwood says Bill is going to run the brakes off the Giants defense. I hope so.
Which
And
you got to tell me about this guy, man. I'm hearing Bill. I don't see Bill in his
yeah,
name at all. You tell me a little bit about who this guy is because I've heard some noise
yeah,
and then I seen 4th running back on the depth chart, So you let me know who is
right.
this guy? Should I really, be looking out for him?
So he's a dog. He's a one of our hidden gems that we're trying to keep, but I think the word has kind of got out on him a little bit from some fantasy people who are deep into fantasy. They kind of got his name out there, but Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is his real name. He goes by Bill because he says that when he was younger playing football, he had a bald head, so everybody called him Little Bill, which he still uses today, which is Bill. So it's just Bill. So when you see him, just call him Bill, right? He's out of Arizona. He didn't play last season, but one game against New Mexico State. And that one game that he played against New Mexico, he looked really, really good, but he didn't play the rest of the season because of eligibility issues. He didn't have any more years left. So if he would have played the full season, he probably would have been a 3rd or 4th round pick as a running back, right? We got him in the 7th round. He's a very versatile back. He has good speed. He's a 4.4 speed guy. His best trait in my mind is his elusiveness, his cutting ability. He gets low to the ground. He changes direction very, very well. And as Commanders fans, we haven't seen that type of stuff since forever. I don't even know if Clinton Porter's had this type of elusiveness. That's why we're so excited about him because we haven't seen this type of running back in such a long time, right? But talking about earlier about by committee, we talked about how our defensive line is going to be by committee. Our running back room is also going to be by committee. Now, Bill is listed on the depth chart as the 4th string running back, which is the last running back. I do not think that is going to be how the season ends or even how it's going to be midway season. I think he's going to end up being our featured back or one of our featured backs halfway through the season, right? But it's going to be by committee. If we're going to win this game, we have to establish some type of run at some point in this game. Like, we can't have Jaden Daniels back there passing every damn down against this pass rush. That's just not going to bode well, right? We have to establish some type of run. We have to control time of possession, and we got to take some pressure off of Jaden Daniels, right? Speaking of taking pressure off of Jaden Daniels, Deebo Samuel, we brought him in this past season. He's our Swift Army knife. Kind of like how Austin Eckler is our Swift Army knife. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. We can hand it off to him. He can do a lot of different things, right? With Terry McLaurin on one side, we got Deebo Samuel mostly probably in the slot. And going up against your DB room, you know, you got Paul, you guys brought in Paulson Adebo, who I think is a really, really solid cornerback. You also got Deontay Banks. You know, him and Terry got some some battles going on
Yeah, they
for
do.
past few seasons. How confident are you in this matchup? Do you like who would you give the edge to? And going into the game on Sunday, how do you feel about this? Do you feel confident or what?
Yeah, man. I think something I can definitely give the Commanders their flowers for is Jaden Daniels is a great quarterback. He is. He looked really good last year. You know, a lot of us Giants fans are going to try to talk it down for the most part, but overall, I will say Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback. So I think no matter who the receiver is, I mean, we didn't get killed by Terry McLaurin last year. We got killed by the other guys.
Yeah.
So thinking about you guys adding Deebo Samuel, I know your offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury is going to put him in a position to succeed, whether that be, you know, in the intermediate game, whether you see a reverse, you're going to see Deebo Samuel everywhere. That's what I imagine coming into this Sunday. So I don't want to give you guys the edge. I don't. But until further notice, if my guy Deontay Banks does not step up, you know, I
Yeah.
do have a little bit of worries about what he can do in game. Now, Deontay Banks was in a CB2 matchup with another cornerback. Right now, the position is listed as or. So you might not even see Banks out there. It might be another guy in Cordell Flott. We don't know what we're going to see Sunday, and today's Thursday. So that's a little
Oh
concerning. But
wow.
I will say, just being honest, I'm not concerned about Deebo. It's mainly about getting him on the ground. I'm not worried about him going down the field. It's about really just keeping a tab on him and making sure you bring him down. He's a tough guy to
Yeah.
bring down. And I'm kind of upset that he's on your team because I've been a fan of Deebo when he's out there with the Niners, man. For what he did against the Cowboys that one playoff game, I was a
Yeah.
fan. I had to be a fan, but now he's, you know, over there with y'all. I can't root for him no more.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a pretty even matchup. But once again, I'm not looking at Deebo or Terry. Don't let Zach Ertz have 100 yards again. Don't
Yeah.
let Noah Brown. Is Noah Brown still playing for you guys?
Yeah, well, he's still here. Will he play 17 games this season? Probably not. That's why we're looking at
Gotcha.
Kendrick Bourne right now and trying to
Yeah.
figure out who, because we only got 5 wide receivers. But yeah, he's still on the roster.
Yeah,
He's
I don't want
definitely
to be
still on the
beat by
roster.
the other guys, man. No Luke McCaffrey. I don't want to be beat by the other guys. That's what I'm
Facts,
really looking out for.
facts. Yeah, man. That matchup between our wide receivers and your defensive backs, I think is going to be really good. Just this game in general, I think is going to be a good game. This is family. We're cousins. This is family
Mhm.
business. These games are you never know how these games are going to go. We could be very bad one year, y'all are very good, and we can still end up playing a very close game, or we can still end up winning. Now, I will say history tells at least the last 10, 15 years, y'all gave us BTA most of the time. But you know, it's a new era because we got our owner up out of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Let's switch over to the quarterbacks, because another key thing for us to, you know, really take advantage of you guys and ultimately get the win is getting to Russell Wilson. We got to get to him. He still throws a very great deep ball. He killed us last year with the deep ball against the Steelers. We couldn't stop the deep ball. Granted, we got much better defensive backs than we did a year ago. But he's still a great quarterback at throwing the deep ball. If we can get to Russell Wilson, I think that can be a game changer for us on our end. You guys got Jackson Dart. He was recently announced as the second string quarterback. I want to hear it from someone who actually follows the team. How excited are you about Jackson Dart, and when do you expect or think he will ultimately take over the starting role?
Yeah, so he's obviously taking over, you know, the excitement of this team right now. And I think what we've seen in preseason was really good. Some people are trying to temper back the expectations. Hey, it's just preseason. We don't want to start talking about what he can be.
Yeah,
We need to see in the regular season against, you know, real defenses, starters. But the one thing that's encouraging is that he didn't play with these starters on his side. You know,
yeah,
having a Malik Neighbors is a luxury to have, and we didn't even see Jackson Dart play with him yet. Yeah, he was continuing to be decisive, make his decisions, get rid of the ball quickly, and fit in into some tight windows. I think when you look at your quarterbacks, right? Like I think people make it to the league for a reason. Everybody has some sort of arm, if there's some
Right.
sort of arm, but being able to switch the arm angles that you throw, being able to make some plays, being able to improvise, and having that it factor is what some quarterbacks have and other quarterbacks don't. And I think Jackson Dart does have that, as I think he just got jumped off. But
We back. I had to fix my light
there we,
issue, man.
there we go. There we go.
My ring light died on me. So but yeah, Jackson Dart, man, he looked really, really good. I hear you guys are calling him what, JD6?
Yeah, you guys got JD5, we got JD6.
Y'all
JD6
got,
lives in the end zone, So
yeah, yes,
we're
sir.
we're just happy to have an exciting young quarterback. Now, when do I expect to see him? Obviously, it's not rocket science. If we see him sooner rather than later, that means things are not going good. So if you're asking me when do I want to see him, I think the ideal scenario is we don't. I think you see Russell Wilson, because if Russell Wilson's still playing by week 9, 10, 11, that means we're kind of battling a little bit.
Yeah.
If you see Jackson Dart in there by then at that point, we got to be considering, I don't know, punting on the season. The biggest thing is just not putting too much pressure on the kid. We brought in Russell Wilson for a reason. Jaden Daniels last year didn't have competition. He was going to be the starting quarterback. You drafted him at 3 to be the starter. We have 2 guys that technically should be ahead of Jackson Dart if push comes to shove. So definitely still excited for what Russ has to bring, but knowing that Jackson Dart is around the corner it's exciting.
Yeah, and if you guys can keep him on the bench for a full season, I think that'll bode well for him. If he can get a full season on his belt, that's something that a lot of rookies don't actually get to have, and then actually go into their second season with a chance to start.
Yeah,
off the bench.
Yeah.
Off the bench. What up, fam? Commanders win by winning both sides of the line of scrimmage. Conquer the line, conquer the game. I totally agree. If this game is going to come down to the line of scrimmage, when you talk about 2 NFC East opponents, that's usually what happens, right? It's a toss up in this division. You never know who's going to come out with the win. But if we can win the line of scrimmage, I think we have a very, very good chance to win the game. Moving on, I think your coach Brian Daboll, he's in one of those years where I wouldn't say he's on he's like a semi-hot seat, I would say. Do you think, however the season goes, do you think you guys have a coaching change at the end of the season?
So that's the funny part, right? Because if you look at what happened last season, I told everyone we got a dead man walking right now, and that was Brian Daboll. I did not expect him to be back. There was no shot he was going to be back, and I knew we were probably taking our quarterback. Yes, somehow, some way, he stayed. Our GM stayed, our coach stayed, and I'm not necessarily super against them being back. Yeah. But I will say, if they were able to make it through last season, there's no reason for me to believe they can't make it through this season. They drafted their young rookie quarterback. At some point, if the season's not going well, they have to throw him in, because at that point, if Jackson Dart shows any promise, are you gonna fire Brian Daboll, the guy who's been helping Jackson Dart, who's supposed to be improving Jackson Dart? I don't think they pulled that trigger either. So if you're asking me what are the odds of him being cooked by the end of the season, I'm gonna say it's very low. And some people say that they are on a hot seat because of what happened last year. But the nature of it is, you drafted a quarterback, you let them draft the quarterback, you can't fire them, because the last situation we look at is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones' rookie season was solid. Then you went ahead and fired the coach that drafted him, brought in some new guys, completely changed whatever trajectory he had. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Daniel Jones should have been good, but we didn't do him any favors. We really didn't. We didn't do him any favors, and we brought in a guy in Jason Garrett that completely changed his whole philosophy of playing quarterback. Jason Garrett wanted to throw 5-yard hook routes. If you go to Daniel Jones' rookie season, he was throwing down the field against you guys. Like, he had a 6-touchdown passing performance. And for anyone that doesn't believe that, man, go search it up. Rookie season, Daniel Jones was cooking.
Nah, he was cooking us. We couldn't figure out anything going on with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones always went off against us, and I never understood why. But those are the past years. We had a different owner, different GM, and I think we just got lucky, bro. We got lucky. We got our owner up out of there, who was a malpractice owner, terrible owner, one of the worst owners in sports history. And we were able to get a GM to align with the head coach, to align with the franchise quarterback, all in the same year. Like that is something that I feel like is hard to do, especially to get a quarterback, the type of talent that we got at the quarterback position. So I think we just got lucky at the end of the day. We kind of got lucky in that regard. But moving on to the game on Sunday, I need a bold prediction from you. I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'm gonna give you my bold prediction. What is your bold prediction going into the game?
Listen, man, there's one person that we haven't really talked about this whole time, and I'm gonna bring him up. I got Malik Neighbors scoring 2 tutties this Sunday, man. I really do. Malik Neighbors is going to be, most likely, in my opinion, you can tell me otherwise. I think we're going to see a lot of Marshawn Lattimore and Malik Neighbors. And personally, for me, I think this year you're going to see Malik Neighbors reach a different level than we've seen last year. He was completely tanked by bad quarterback play last year. You can even look at certain times last year. But the key moment is that he dropped the ball that if he catches that ball in the first matchup against the Commanders, we win that game.
Yes,
he dropped it.
I agree.
He completely whiffed on it. No matter what the quarterback was, it was right in his hands, and he dropped it. So I expect him to come back with a vengeance. I think they're going to plan for him to be a lot better. And Russell Wilson has gone on record saying how confident he is in Malik Neighbors, but I don't think he needs the confidence. I just think he needs a quarterback that's going to get the ball to him. And I think Russell Wilson is definitely going to be targeting him a lot. I got 2 tuds for my guy Malik Neighbors this Sunday. I know you guys will probably be trying to game plan as much as you can, but the guy's a beast. I think Malik Neighbors by the end of the season could be a top 4 wide receiver in this league. He's that type of player. It's just a matter of if the quarterback will be able to use that to his advantage, target him and ultimately get on the deep ball, man. That's something that we saw at LSU with your guy Jaden Daniels. They were able to hook up with the deep ball last year. You did not see Malik Neighbors do that till like week 17. So that's my big expectation and kind of like something I can see going down. It's going to be Malik Neighbors with 2 tutties, and hopefully that continues to put us towards a dub.
He's going to be a Commander at some point in his career, right?
That's
throwing that out there.
That's not happening, man.
His best friend in 5 is over here playing for the Commanders, man. At some point in their career, they're going to have to link up, and I don't see us ever letting JD5 get away. We're probably going to sign him to a contract next year or some crazy stuff like that. So
hey, like Michael just said in the comment right there, I don't think anyone expected Micah to be gone either. So you never know.
I mean, Dallas and Jerry Jones over there, they living in a whole different world. They living in Jerry's world. So anything goes with them. Hopefully, we don't end up like that, but I can't see it. But I can see Malik Neighbors playing for the Commanders at some point in his career. But yeah, man. So speaking of Malik Neighbors, if I had to pick any player to go crazy Sunday, it's going to be Malik Neighbors. I have him in both of my fantasy leagues because I agree with everything that you just said. I agree 100%. Dude is a dog. He had 1,200 yards last year, and he missed how many games? Playing with what?
2 games last year.
With what cute quarterback? Like, come on, bro. This is unreal, right? Malik Neighbors is going to be a problem. Hopefully he doesn't have his breakout, game against us. Well, he's already out there, but hopefully he doesn't go off crazy, on some Justin Jefferson or any, the guy that played for the Bengals over there. But I do hope he plays really well, and I hope he, goes off in a loss at the end of the day. But we did draft a pretty good cornerback in Trey Amos in the 2nd round. I don't think we're going to have Marshawn Lattimore travel. I think they're just going to play their sides, and wherever he lines up, and we play it like that. So it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. 2 touchdowns, I think that's kind of reasonable. We're speaking about the talent that Malik Neighbors have. I'm really high on Malik Neighbors, so I think that's something that can actually have a real chance of happening. My bold take, I think Deebo Samuels gets 2 touchdowns. I think Deebo Samuels gets 2 touchdowns. I think he gets 1 rushing when we're close to the goal line on an end around or direct snap to beat Deebo Samuels, and he gets a passing touchdown as well somehow. I think Deebo Samuel is going to go off this season. He's not going to have a season like he had in 2021. I just think that's not what's going to go down. I don't think he's going to have that many opportunities playing with Terry. But I think he's going to go crazy. I think he's going to have at least 1,000 yards, all-purpose yards. I think he's going to get around seven touchdowns for us this season. And I think he's going to go off against you guys this Sunday. Let me get a score prediction for the game.
Yeah, man. Just piggybacking off of what you just said about Debo, man. I think the best thing about him is when he's on the field, you're not questioning it. It's the problem is you got to stay on the field. He had too
Mhm.
many like little knick-knack injuries that kind of keep him out a bit the last couple of seasons. So if he stays on the field, man, he could be really good for you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to everyone in the chat
Facts.
representing Big Blue, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat representing Big Blue. Definitely got to be in here rocking,
Yeah, we got some
rocking
big
with
blue
blue
fans in here.
in here,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Giants D-line will be the difference. Let us see it. So shout out to everyone representing Big Blue. Now, score prediction with the two teams being NFC East rivals, I wouldn't consider this a big rivalry because I think we both don't like the other two guys that are in the division. But I do think it's going to be a close game because it always ends up being a close game no matter what the record is. And with that being said, I am rolling with my guy or with my team, the New York Giants, 24-23. Score prediction
Okay.
24-23. The Giants, funny enough, their starting kicker looks like he might be out of it, but we have a kicker signed this time. We win with a game-winning field goal, man. So I got the Giants taking the dub, 24-23.
I have a similar score. I have us winning 28-21. Um, I think Jaden Daniels gets 3 total touchdowns. We get a running touchdown in there, but I do think this will be a close game for much of the match. These games always figure out to be close. In my eyes, even the 2 last year with Jaden, those were very close games. Like you said, Malik Neighbors catches the ball, you guys win the game. Even that second game, it was really close, even though we kneeled on the 1 yard line to kind of keep the score close. But those games were close, right? Those are really close games, hard fought games. I think it comes down late. It's tied up. JD5 probably gets the touchdown with like 2 minutes left. You guys get the ball back, but I don't think you guys do enough to get into the end zone, and you ultimately lose. But that's what I think, man. That's what I think is coming Sunday. Of course, you got to pick your team, so I definitely understand it. Before we get up out of here, because I know you got some other things to get into. Let me get a record prediction for the Giants, because a lot of the league don't think as highly of the Giants as kind of some of the Giants fans do. I want to know from a Giants fan what you think the record will be for you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, I think everyone's talking about all of our schedules because we know we are the best division in the NFL. We got the Super
Right.
Bowl champs in here, the conference, foe with the Washington Commanders, and then we got the Cowboys and the Giants. I think we are the best, division in the NFL. So with us playing each other, that naturally makes the schedule a little bit harder. But I'm not too big on, everyone's saying that the Giants have the toughest schedule. Football is a game that changes every year. One injury can completely devastate a team and switch things around. So I'm not too focused on the Giants having the hardest schedule and considering that in, the schedule record. I think my team ends up winning 9 wins, 9 games. They win 9 games
Okay.
to go 9-8, above 500, but not necessarily there to make some noise in the playoff race. When you think about winning 9 games, you got to win a game like Sunday. I think
Yeah.
week 1, we didn't talk about it too much, but the Giants don't have anything to play for in the sense of, they're playing with house money. They shouldn't be worried about expectations. They shouldn't be worried about all these things. All the pressure should be on the Commanders coming off an NFC Championship game. You guys can't lose to the New York Giants.
And that's dangerous.
Giants going into an away game, they're playing with house money.
Yeah.
So definitely I got the Giants winning this Sunday, but if they're going to get to 9 games, they have to win this Sunday because, maybe the Commanders you split, the Dallas Cowboys you split, because I think the Cowboys do take a hit without Micah Parsons. I don't think they'll be that good. But there are some winnable games in between there as well. You got the Patriots on the schedule. You got teams like the Saints on the schedule. So, they definitely have to take the gimmies and they got to, surprise some people in some other matchups. I got them going 9-8. The betting line, I think is 5.5. So I'm definitely taking the over on their season totals.
Did you put something down on it?
Haven't yet. Haven't yet. I gotta see.
That'll let me know if you're real confident in it or not.
And Andrew Thomas is Sunday. Let me see
Yeah.
if he's playing or not. That might shift the odds a little bit in my favor, regardless of the betting odds. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely I see why you would say that. You guys got a gauntlet, man. I'm taking a look at the schedule right now, and So you got us, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Saints. I think you guys can definitely beat them. That's a win. Eagles, Broncos. Eagles are like it's just it kind of gets crazy, man. It kind of but like you said though, you guys have nothing to lose. Like that is sometimes some of the dangerous things in sports. When you go out there, you're playing a professional sport, and a lot of people think like you're trash, and you go, but you're still professionals. You can go out there and shock the world. But at the same time, I do think this can get off rails very
Yeah.
quickly.
Hey,
And
I
we
want
can
to
see,
let you know, you just read off the first couple games. If you see this team only go in, what, maybe 1-6, 1-7, if there's an ideal place to put Jackson Dart, you'll probably see him then. At that
yeah,
point, Brian Daboll's pulling the trigger. He got to save his job somehow. You'll see Jackson Dart in there. And maybe that changes the trajectory of the team. Who knows? I'm not going to put that on his shoulders. And that's the biggest thing. I don't want to make the rookie quarterback have to feel like he has to redirect the team. But
right.
that's another conversation for another day. We just focus on Sunday, man. Try to get one under our belt.
Yeah. So that's all I got for you, man. I'm here now with the Juke, New York Giants content creator, man. Thank you again. If y'all are in the chat, if y'all are watching live, please like, subscribe, and comment to both of our channels, man. Subscribe
100%.
to both of our channels for the Commanders content on my end and the Giants content on the Juke's end, man. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you if you got anything other than YouTube.
Yeah, man. Definitely tap in with me on the Juke on YouTube, but also on the Juke _ on Instagram. That's where my guy follow me on Instagram as well. So definitely stay tuned on that. Also on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, the Juke __. We dropping reactions, but then we also too got in-depth tweets going on during the game. So definitely stay tuned on that. And once again, appreciate you having me on, my guy. I actually am looking to do some post game work. So definitely anyone that's in the chat right now, come over. If the Giants win, I don't think you're gonna want to see me, but feel free to jump in if we lose. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm sure my guy will be going live as well. So appreciate you having me on, man.
Thank you for coming on, man. And again, if y'all are if y'all are watching live, please like, subscribe, and comment. Again, thank you to Juke for coming into the channel. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, man.